is your boy FIG, and I'm hosting today. It's Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday. Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who? Who that? Who that? Who that? Trying to get up in my crew. It's Box 6, baby. I want to welcome everybody to the show, man. It's going to be a hot show today, Hot Wednesday. I got the principal in the building, F to the R-A-N-K, representing Beantown. And I got my man Talent, and we always representing the NYC and the Knicks, baby. We got a hot show. Talent, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Hey, man, I'm fabuloso. I'm like the detergent, you heard? It's a great day. It's a great day.
We swear by Fabuloso. It's purple, just like Kool-Aid.
Well, they got all flavors now. Fabuloso then took over the whole, like, the hood cleaning industry.
Oh, definitely, man. Mr. Clean can't even get in the hood no more.
Mr. Clean got an afro.
Yo, Frank, how you doing today, man? You all right? You good?
Man, I need an opening intro like you. If I ever got to make one, I'm going to call you up because that was a...
Hey, speaking of Fabuloso, there go Mike.
There go Mike. Hey, vida loca. What's happening, Mike? How you doing, man?
I'm excelente. What's going on, fellas?
Mike is Nostradamus.
Yes, yeah.
You should have gave him Nostradamus. That's what you should have gave him.
Nostradamus? Why? Why? Tell me why, Frank.
You know, the Deshaun Watson thing you're going to talk about, Nostradamus.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah. Mike, I always appreciate Mike because he comes in with a fabulous done fireplace in the background all the time. Nowhere where Mike goes, he take that fireplace with him, man. That must have been a lot of money to move that all the way from Texas to Jersey, bro.
Oh, it's portable. It's portable. Man, listen, if I meet a chick, I bring it with me. I'll be over there in a little bit. I gotta bring this fireplace, sweetie.
That's the best looking group home I've ever seen, Mike. I've been to several group homes. That right there, though?
Ain't nothing like a fireplace to set the mood for a good massage.
Man, that's so funny. Y'all have no idea how funny that is.
Listen. I'm glad I said that, man, because that's a great intro to the show, man. Speaking of massages, we got to talk about my man Deshaun Watson. The Cleveland Browns are upset because there's another person added to this civil case. Now it's 23 plaintiffs. You know, in the original, it was 22. Now there's 23 plaintiffs that are in on this civil case against Deshaun Watson. What y'all got to say about that? Talent? Another one. And like Biggie said, there's another one.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's really worried about it because keep in mind, you still got a handful of girls that are recanting, you know what I mean, or backing out at the same time. So it's a little fluctuating thing going on right now. I think right now in the NFL, his biggest problem is what the suspension time will be. But criminally and the girls, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Okay. All right. Mike, what you think about this, man? There's another one who came in. She's been added to the civil case. Again, this is not criminal, civil. She's added to the civil case. The Cleveland Browns may be upset that, Roger Goodell and the powers that be may do something significant to them and punish Deshaun Watson. Now there's a new person added on. What you got to say?
Well, he's going to get that suspension in the first year of that $35 million or $250 million guaranteed contract. The first year is going to be a waste because they're going to make sure he misses like 6-7 games. And then after he misses those 6-7 games, then he's got to start from scratch with the Cleveland Browns. And at that point, you never know what their record's going to be. They might already be out the playoff picture by the time he gets on the field. So they're going to that first year is going to be a waste. That's what it's going to be.
Well, now here's the thing. They did not, if I'm not mistaken, the Cleveland Browns still have Baker Mayfield as their QB. He's still on the roster. Couldn't they start with Baker Mayfield and then make a transition over to Deshaun Watson once whatever suspension is lifted? Dugard, what you got to say about that, man?
Yo, what up, fellas? It's been a minute, man.
What up?
Hey, we know they're gonna suspend the brother, man, and Baker Mayfield is still over there technically. Take the suspension, take the games. He'll transition in because hey, they gave him the money, so he is definitely the long-term guy. And then the new allegation, you know, you're right, Talon. Some people have been recanting on that because when they swear their asses in, and it's like, yo, we swear you in, and if it's perjury, people change their minds.
Hey,
And they say, dang, I was trying to get a money bag because, you know, trying to get the bag. But when they swear you in and they prove that you lying,
yeah,
they start thinking differently.
Or they prove that it was consensual.
right.
Right.
That's what they're really scared.
They
That
really worried about
yeah.
that this was all inclusive, and we knew it was all inclusive. And all I'm gonna say about this with the Cleveland Browns, and I hate this for Deshaun Watson. Let's say he's suspended for 6 games. Let's just hypothetically say Baker Mayfield goes 5-1. Now all the pressure goes on Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely.
Now everything is like Baker Mayfield's 5-1. Like they doing it. So this is gonna be. Listen, I think the man, listen, you got your money. I would have taken that money too. If I was the Browns, there's no way in hell I would have guaranteed somebody $235 million. Just guaranteed. There's no way
Hey,
I would have.
hey Mike, you have a great point. What if they're 5-1 with Baker and it's based on the defense, not Baker?
We don't know. Yeah, you could be right. But what if Baker, you know, we got to remember Baker's only been in the league for so long.
Right.
If he develops and he's having an outstanding season, this is gonna be crazy, yo.
Listen, but guess what? That's for the Cleveland Browns. That's a good problem to have. To have 2 quarterbacks on your team and your team is winning. I mean, listen, let's not forget before Baker Mayfield, the Cleveland Browns was guaranteed 1 to 2 wins every single season, and they wasn't getting no further than that. So if the Cleveland Browns end up 5-1 with Baker Mayfield with a quarterback of the caliber of Deshaun Watson sitting on the sideline, that is a good problem to have.
But we've seen it before. We've seen it with Rodgers and Favre. We've seen it with Young in Montana.
Yes, sir.
In today's culture, if anything, they become amazing trade bait, and they get the bag anyway on the new team.
Absolutely. This is an amazing problem to have. Hopefully, this thing goes away. But I've said this before, and I want to say it again. If all of these women are not telling the 100% truth, this is a problem in our society where women are allowed to accuse men falsely with no repercussions. And like you said, Dugar, maybe that's why some of these women recanted and stepped out of this thing. I feel bad for the true victims of such crimes when we have people that come in and make false charges and then cast doubt on everybody. And that's not right. But listen, we can talk about this all day, so let's move on. Aaron Donald, I think we touched on this a little bit yesterday, says, look, I played in the league 8 years. I'm good. I got my Super Bowls. I got my money. As a matter of fact, I looked it up yesterday. Aaron Donald is worth $60 million right now. He's set. He's like, I don't have no problems. If I don't play another game, I'm good. What do you think about this for the Los Angeles Rams? Talent, what you think about that?
Well, again, I'm gonna say what I said yesterday when you brought it up. You was like, "Oh, 60, you can live your life." I'm like, "No, you can't. Not him." You got to realize these guys create a lifestyle for themselves. They live a certain life. For you, Fig, maybe you can live the rest of your life for 60 million. But once you create this lifestyle, all the expenses go up. Everything goes. My lifestyle is no longer for real. Like rappers do it to themselves all the time. Athletes, rappers, actors, entertainers, period. That's why when you see later down the line, you read these phenomenal gone broke stories.
Right.
Vin Baker's a barista.
Right,
Vin Baker,
right,
who's made over 100 mil in his basketball career, ends up a barista. Why? Because your cost of living goes up. Your lifestyle changes. So you're no longer in a Toyota Corolla with cloth seats. You know, you're no longer doing the things you did. You're living at an upper echelon lifestyle. So 60 million, probably hold him over 5 years if he stops right now. If he don't have the proper investments in place and laid it out for himself, which is the problem in sports. Problem in sports is people don't prepare for the future. The smart ones, You see them out there. You see the Ray Allens and the Michael Jordans, the Magic Johnsons, who prepared themselves for the afterlife, right? So the 60 may or may not be good enough. We don't know his lifestyle. He knows, though.
Yeah. I don't know the way he's talking. It sounds like he got that 60 million like onto the side just by his demeanor and what he's actually talking about. Me, you talking about me with 60 million? Hell, I didn't live the rest of my life for 60,000.
You don't have the demeanor of $60.
I know how to downsize. Oh, anyway,
Big, you don't have the demeanor of $60 on the side. What does that demeanor look like?
Mike, what you got to say? Aaron Donald says he's good if he never plays another down. Do the LA Rams pay him, or do they just say, we can't afford you, you too expensive, I'm going to let you walk?
It all depends on talent. Could be 1,000% right or 1,000% wrong. It depends on his financial advisors. The one thing now is that he's probably guaranteed a job at the NFL Network. They're probably he's got a personality. He's the type of dude that's articulate enough to speak on the game, and these networks love bringing these guys on, especially once they come straight off the field. I think the Rams will do everything they can to keep him. 60 million. If I had $60 million right now, I'd have a bottle of vodka in front of me and dare somebody to tell me to go to an AA meeting. Listen, but the Rams are going to do everything they can. And we said this yesterday. It could be just a bargaining chip.
Right.
And see if I'm going to give it another huge bag. The man's already in 8 years guaranteed himself a Hall of Fame induction.
Wow.
Which is crazy in itself that it's only been 8 years and he's already going to hit the Hall of Fame. And if he does retire and he is financially good, I applaud him because I want more athletes to be able to live on their own terms and live a good life and keep the same lifestyle.
Absolutely, especially in football. Dugar, my man Aaron Donald said, look, man, I don't care if y'all don't pay me the amount of money that I think I'm worth, I'm out of here. And let me just say this as a caveat. Aaron Donald, the only person that is on that level right now, the way they talk about Aaron Donald is the former Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor. Like those guys are like the two top echelon defenders in the NFL, in the history of the NFL. What do you guys say about Aaron Donald? Do you let him leave or do you pay him?
$60 million. Now, if he doesn't have an entourage and he takes back that $30 million necklace and watch that he had on sitting on the sidelines at the basketball game, he might be all right. But if I had 60 million, I would have me a Schwinn Scrambler and I would be riding Willie's on my block and I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. And I don't even drink, but I might do what Mike Sean did. Had me some vodka, riding a one-hand Willie on my Schwinn Scrambler.
Y'all want too much out of life. I'm doing what Mike did with $60.
What's in that cup, Taylor?
Well, you know I've done it.
hey, let me tell y'all this, man. I've been known to sip a little bit in my my former life, man. But as long as it tastes good, I could drink it for a long time. I just don't like the after effect. I had the nerve to drink a slow gin fizz. And when it started to fizzle, I was like, I ain't doing this no more.
First of all, you messed up because it was a slow gin fizz and you drunk it fast.
I sure did.
They call it a slow gin fizz for a reason. You gotta drink it slow. It tastes
like Kool-Aid. Listen, yo, it was good. Yo, so my man Quinn Snyder is about to end his tenure with the Utah Jazz. Is this a problem for Utah? I mean, because you know Utah is having their problems. Donovan Mitchell, the tall boy Gobert, you know, are they fading into oblivion with Quinn Snyder about to pack it up? Talent, what you think about the Utah Jazz? Possibly.
No, I don't think. I think Utah. If we learned anything over the past over Utah, is that it's a collective effort out there. One thing about their basketball team has always been a collective effort. They always play like that. Even the days of Karl Malone and Stockton and Hornacek and all those guys out there doing their thing. When they play. Everything's a collective effort. So I don't think any one thing like tumbles them down. Even with Donovan talking about going somewhere or trading or leaving, I think that they're on a course right now, looking pretty good, pretty decent, because you got to put into faction that they are a Western Conference team, and for them to be doing as well as they are coming out of that conference, I think they're in a great spot to just build on. They're one of those. We can make a list of about 6 teams that are in a great building spot. Utah's right, and I don't think no one person, coach, general man, nothing, no exec gonna mess that up.
All right, Mike, let me ask you this question. You got Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell feuding, talking about, listen, one got to go. Now the coach is about to call it a day. What do you think about the situation in Utah? Is it about, are they about to fall off?
Let me just profile from an addict's point of view. He looks like he's going to be in rehab at some point. Like Quinn Snyder has that look like he's leaving Utah because there is nowhere to party at. Like Quinn Snyder's like, I need some action. Utah's problem, and this is their ultimate, always been their problem. They're too consistent. So they never have seasons like Golden State had where they didn't make the playoffs. So they never get to fully rebuild. They're always going to be pretty good.
Right.
They're always going to be pretty good. And they're going to go to the second round. This year they got knocked out in the first round. And they'll be Utah because they're not going to get the prime free agents, because nobody is going to go to Utah if you're at the top of your game and you compete. You'll go to Milwaukee before you go to Utah. And that was before Giannis was there.
Right.
So Utah's always going to be consistently in the playoffs, but I don't ever see them cracking, being able to win a championship out there. And I think Donovan Mitchell realizes that he needs to get out of there.
Oh, wow. So the best chance was Karl Malone and John Stockton. Dugar, what you got to say about the coach? Talk about he going to leave. It seems like the 2 top players and the coach is like, yo, we out of here. What you think about Utah? And the West is deep.
Why would you want to be in an area where the sun doesn't come out and the women aren't hot?
Oh, hey man, hold on. Hey man, I think that was a Charles Barkley take.
Yo.
I mean, hey man, the proof is in the pudding, man. I mean, look what Snyder looks like a stand-in for Pat Riley after about 8 shots.
Yeah,
his tan ain't even coming in right, and he's got crow's feet on his cheekbones instead of under his eyes.
Can you hold on? Here's a big question. Talent, can you get a decent tan in Utah?
Hell no. Yo, hold up, though. The show just got mad sexual, yo. Dugar said, why would you want to be somewhere the sun don't shine and the women are not hot? And we laughed, and he went, the proof is in the pudding.
but Talent, did you see the segue? The sun doesn't come out and the women aren't hot. Hot sun.
Yeah. Now, I caught that.
You're a genius. You're a genius. The check is in the mail.
Yeah,
you guys are phenomenal, man.
No, great. No, but you got a point there, Fig. But that's the thing. They're always going to get those decent ball players there that look at the game like they're supposed to look at it. Like you have, when you play professional sports, you have people who play it because they actually love the sport, right? And now they end up professionally getting paid for it. But then you have people who can do it, but deal with it like a job, like a business. They show up, they have a regimen. You could always tell the ones who just having fun because they're less locked down. The other ones are focused because there's a job to them. How many times they lift the weights, this weight, what day I work on legs, blah, 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 because they know their body is where the work comes from. So in Utah, if you pay attention over the years, somehow they've always been able to recruit those work horses.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't a lot of people having fun in Utah. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like look at Rudy Gobert. He looked like he should be having fun, but he's not.
I mean, also to segue on what Talent is saying, when you look at the brothers that are playing in Utah and they do interviews, you notice their articulation is like, yo, bro, what's going on, man? It's never that dude like, yo, it's never that cat like, yo, son, I ain't funny, like, for shizzle. It ain't none of that. It's always that guy like, hey, dude, look at those broads over there, bro. Let's go kick it.
They got like 12 Grand Hills.
Yeah, right.
No, Grant Hill might be too gangster for that.
Right.
Grant Hill might be too gangster.
That's true.
Y'all are crazy with this right now, man. So basically what we're saying is that Karl Malone was uniquely suited to be in Utah back in the day.
Yeah, because Karl Malone,
he likes 18-wheelers, he likes horses. And so that's like that's Karl Malone's thing.
He likes living in a state with 1% black people.
That's Karl Malone. That's absolutely right. He likes that. That's who he is.
But hold on, y'all laughing. But there's black people like that, for real.
Yeah.
Like, not just basketball, just in general, they like being the few. They like being the only black person or person of color. Yo, you see them all the time. And then you come around, it's like you messing up their thing.
You know what that is, Telly?
That they put the black dude in there, and the other black dude came in the kitchen, and he was like, what are you doing? He was like, no, I'm chilling. No.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, my son is that guy. My son is like, hey, Caleb, Josh, Oren, I'm gonna go work out. That's my
hilarious. You know what's kind of funny?
Well, you did a good job as a father, damn it. You did a good job.
You know what it is, Dylan? Those type of black guys, man, they like the danger of like any minute I might get lynched.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but they really exist, man. Like, people, I know dudes that get an attitude. Like, you ever be on a road and you go to like some hot club? It's surely not black, but you just want to go somewhere, And you go in there and it'd be like a group of like 2 black dudes, and they ice grill your whole walking.
Right.
This guy's gonna mess up the night. Dude,
right.
Gonna mess up the whole night. No, there's never been a time that talent. There's never been a time that talent has invited me somewhere that I didn't want to go, right? Unless he said, you want to go to Salt Lake City? No, I'm not going to Salt Lake City.
Hey, talent, you right. Hey, it's like the dudes will walk in and the cats will be like, oh, we probably should leave because there's a real one. He's going to expose us.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Like
that's how it be.
It's like the new Carlton in the Fresh Prince against the old Carlton.
Yo, this is how America is built, man. It's all segregated. Like, they don't use the word no more, but it still exists.
Yeah, because like he'd be saying he's not like us. But listen, with this whole thing, we talk about destination places. Tim Connolly of the Minnesota Timberwolves said that he's going to make he's planning to make Minnesota a destination spot for top talent. What do you have to do to make Minnesota a destination spot for top talent?
Well,
Minnesota.
First you got to keep your knee out of people's neck.
Yeah, that would help.
You got to start there. Your police have to be welcoming, because let's face it, the majority of recruits for this sport is people of color.
Absolutely.
So if you want to make it a destination spot for the first thing I'm thinking as a person of color is, if I think it's highly racially injustice there, that's not a destination spot for me. I want to go somewhere where I get a shot at driving 5 miles without getting pulled over. I want to work out discrepancies, like using a counterfeit $20 bill without getting killed. You know what I mean? So he got his work cut out.
Mike, can the new basketball operations guy in Minnesota make it a destination spot for top talent? Can he make that a place where people want to go?
There was a time when people didn't want to go to Golden State.
Ooh, right.
Like you can, Chris Webber and them boys made Sacramento a place that all of a sudden you wanted to play in. Your job is to keep Giannis happy. Your job is to make sure your sports teams are efficient. Look, Oklahoma City, when they had the 3 up in there with Westbrook and Harden and Durant, could have made that a destination spot. Like, that team could have made it happen. It can happen. Like, the mall is dope, but talent has a point.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you got a point, because I would have never. I've been to OKC twice performing in 20 whatever years, and I've been there 5 times to watch the games.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
dope.
places like Phoenix, Phoenix's weather is amazing, but you know, I don't like the Coyotes, but Minnesota, it could happen.
Coyotes. What about the iguana?
Yeah,
Man,
no, I
iguana.
went. A promoter told me, he said, I wanted to smoke a black and mild. He took it to his house in Phoenix. He's like, yeah, go ahead, just watch the Coyotes. Bitch, watch the Coyotes. I said, I'll
Hey
just
man,
stay here.
listen, Minnesota gets extremely cold. They get a lot of
Yeah.
snow. You know what I mean? It's not the greatest weather in the world. What can the president of basketball operations do to make Minnesota a destination spot? Duke?
Well, we just finished talking about Utah.
Yes, sir.
Now, Prince is not living anymore, so that's not going to be a great recruiting tool.
It's still at the time.
Minnesota is going to be a good team, though.
Yeah.
But come on, man, Minnesota. You know, who wants to go to Minnesota, man? Black people, which is 80% of the NBA, we are of a tropical pigmentation people. We ain't trying to be all wrapped up like that. And are the women even hot there also?
They got a couple of shorties.
And I didn't mean Giannis. I meant Karl Anthony Towns. My bad. Keep Karl Anthony Towns and that team together. And if you start winning championships, it'll be a destination.
It will be.
The mall is dope. I mean, the mall is dope.
They got Carthy Towns, D'Angelo Russell.
They got a squad.
Yeah, they got a nice little spot, man. They gave Memphis a run for their money. You know what I mean? That was a nice little series, man. It had the energy of a college tournament. You know what I mean?
I know how to do it. You want to make it a destination play. All you got to do is film a full season of Fargo. There you go.
Because they're going to try to find that money that was buried in that snow.
Fargo, man.
In Minnesota.
Man, we can talk about this a lot too. Let's move on, man. Let's move to some warmer weather. Max Strus of the Miami Heat is still upset that the refs overturned his 3-point shot. I looked at the video and it didn't look like his heel actually hit the line, and the referees took 3 points from Miami in the game 7. Max Strus is still extremely upset about that because they ended up losing to Boston in 7. Talent, does he have a real beef or not? I think it took like 4 to 5 minutes of actual game time before the referees went back, looked at it, and decided that they was going to take away his 3-pointer because they said his foot was out of bounds. I think the call was out of bounds. What do you say, Talent?
Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Too much, too little, too late. Here's the thing, man. Like if we wanted to, technically, we can go back to every game and decipher missed calls and calls made and come up with a number. And at the end of the game, match that number to what you won by and say this is why we lost. If we wanted to. If we want to be sore losers, we can do this with any game. You take especially close game, take a game you lose by 7. I go back. I find 2 missed calls or a bad call where you put some points, whatever. And if I took those points, if I got those points that was justly due me, it's 8 points. I win by 1.
Absolutely.
Who the hell gonna keep doing that?
They lost by 4 points to to Boston in game 7. Mike, what do you think? Coach Spo said that the point differential decides how you're actually playing the game and what kind of plays you put in and how you want to proceed forward. When they go back and take away 3 points off of the scoreboard, it changes everything. What do you have to say about that, Mike? Should Strus, does he have a genuine beef, or is this, little to do about nothing?
He's got a genuine beef, but can we talk about the offensive rebounds that they gave up? Can we talk about, you know what I'm saying? Can we talk about the point that, and this is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had the ball in his hands. They were down by 2, and he took a 3. If he makes the 3, we're not talking about this. Like it happens. Like talents that we can decipher. Listen, every New York fan is going to sit here and say, what? Charles Smith got fouled, right? Charles Smith got fouled 3 times.
Right.
We still lost. We still lost. It was over. So, you know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of aspects of it that you can look at. Turnovers. If you look at the turnovers, like that's something that was self-inflicted. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And he probably does have a point. I don't know if his heel actually hit the line, but I don't know if it was definitive enough to overturn it.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I like that. I like that answer. I don't because it didn't look like it to me, and I don't know if it was definitive enough for them to overturn it and take 3 points off the board. But here's something that's really good about what you said, Mike. Jimmy Butler took a 3-pointer to win the game, which means they were down by 2. If they don't take this 3-pointer off the scoreboard, does that mean that Miami could have possibly been up by 1? Dugar, what do you say about this?
The game is about adjustments. That call did not lose them the game. Butler had an opportunity to become hero or go fishing. You got 18 seconds left. He pulls a 3. It was not a bad shot. It was the wrong shot.
You think so?
It was the wrong shot. He could have drove past old boy to possibly get an and 1, or he could have pulled it out for a better look. You had 18 seconds, or you could have called a timeout. So it's not about the 3-point line. It's about adjustments. Boston won the game. Don't make excuses because you had opportunities to self-correct, and you did.
And I think, and I said it yesterday, Dan, you wasn't here. Jimmy Butler took that shot. He played every second of the game. Jimmy Butler knew we going to overtime. I ain't got nothing left.
Exactly.
And I think Jimmy was just like, I'm going to take this shot. Like you said, like we've all said, I'm going to take this shot and see if I can end it right here. Because I didn't know how injured PJ Tucker was the entire season. I mean, the entire series until Sprosa said, you know, the trainers basically wouldn't even talk to me because he was so hurt. So, I mean, Boston won. They won.
Absolutely.
And Jimmy Butler hit the shot earlier. So he was feeling him. He was feeling himself. He's just like, man, I've been busting. I'm winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think with 10 seconds left, I don't know if the referees make that call, whether he gets fouled or not. I'm not sure the referees make that call because I think at the end of the game with seconds on the clock, I don't think the referees want to be the deciding factor of an NBA game.
18 seconds left. 18 seconds left. If you go to the basket hard,
I think
there's no way they cannot make that call if there's contact. And he had been doing it the whole game.
And Jimmy might be one of the best people in the league of creating contact.
Yes,
absolutely.
And finishing a shot.
And you know what? I think the thing is also he had Horford backed up a little bit, and he did have some decent space. You know what I mean? Horford's a great defender. That's what he does. I don't know, man. In that particular instance, I don't know if he made the right call.
He wasn't in a 3-point stance. He was upright going backwards. He could have took him to the rack.
Yeah, possibly. Listen, crying over spilt milk, I don't know. But I hate the ref. I would hate if it was my team. If that was the New York Knicks, there would have been a riot if they would have took 3 points off the board and the Knicks would have lost the game 7 to go to the NBA Finals. There would have been a riot in New York.
Listen,
why are we talking about the Knicks?
Well,
okay.
Well, let's talk about the Knicks real quick.
You see how I scratch the back of my ear? You see how I scratch the back of my ear? Why are we talking about the Knicks?
But really quick, as a Knicks fan, Hubert Davis didn't get fouled in that playoff game. Remember that bogus call?
Are you talking about against Chicago?
It's been so long for you guys. I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, man. Listen. Shut up. How about that, Dugan? How about I go to Rodney and say, "Shut your pie hole"? How about that?
Okay. All right. You're so direct.
Listen, we just got finished talking about, man, how Tucker was injured and he played through it. I love that, man. I love it. I love when my athletes that's on my team, they played through injuries and they gutted out, especially in the playoffs. And speaking of that, we got to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid. Did he get a bad rap this particular season? Because we found out that not only did he have to have surgery on his thumb, there was another finger that Joel Embiid had injured that nobody really talked about. That it was the middle finger talent. That's what it was, the middle finger that he had to end up having surgery on 2 fingers. We know that he had an orbital fracture. Did we give Joel Embiid too much grief over this whole thing, talent? Because the man was definitely injured and he played through it, just like we talked about PJ Tucker. Talent, help me out, man. What did we do too much?
Let me tell you something, bro.
You asking the wrong person.
I hate when I literally and I don't like to use the word and mean it, but I really hate when these big monstrosity specimens of men sit out for the toe hurt, my finger. Play ball. You big. Play ball. Be strong, brother. And here's the thing. When we were playing ball and we have these injuries, it could be a groin, it could be your knee, your back, whatever it is, you play according to whatever the injury is. You don't talk about the injury after the game. If you can suit up and you can get out there, you can play. You might, okay, it's the finger. So instead of finger rolling today, no finger rolls today. How about that? How about find open man? Stop looking for reasons. And the bigger the dude, the more mad I get. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, when Shaq sat on that Boston bench with that toe, just say you ready to resign and lead the league. Don't do that, man. Don't sit 52 games on a bench with a damn bruised toe. Technology, bro. If you're paying attention to the game, one thing about athletic technology, bro, they make so much stuff that you can get out there, suit up, and do what you got to do. So if it ain't a real sprain, a pull, a rip, a tear, come on, man. Your finger ain't broke, you can play on it.
Absolutely. Here's the thing, man. We know a lot of NBA players gut it out. Are you injured or are you hurt? There's a difference. Injured means you can't go. If you hurt, you can play, but you play hurt. Mike, what do you think about this? I'm not sure Joel Embiid said this. I think the report came out that the man had to have surgery. I don't know if he made excuses. I think this just came out. What do you have to say? Did we ride Joel Embiid too much if the man was definitely injured in the playoffs?
We did, but he brought this on himself because he reminds us every time he's hurt. He reminds us, like he's always telling us about it. Now he didn't leak this report. He didn't. But it's almost like Joel Embiid always has a reason why somebody lost. He's either throwing somebody under the bus after a loss, or he's reminding us how hurt he is. Did we ride him too hard? Was he really hurt? Yeah, he was really hurt. Yeah, he probably wouldn't have played a regular season game. But his whole personality and his persona has become the complainer. Like he's always complaining about something. It's either Doc Rivers' fault for leaving him on the bench too long. It was Ben Simmons' fault for not doing this. It was whatever. Sometimes you got to be Kobe Bryant and have 2 broken fingers and still play.
Absolutely.
And never bring it up after you lose.
Or have a torn Achilles and go to the line and knock down 2 free throws.
And maybe it's unfair to even bring Kobe Bryant to Joel Embiid. So maybe it's even unfair to make that comparison. But I think his personality has brought this on himself on this.
Absolutely. Dugard, did we do too much talking about Joel Embiid that was definitely had legitimate injuries?
Well, first of all, talent, Mike. I love the attitude of toughness. I'll play with you guys at Rutgers any day.
Yeah,
Second of all, if they not rolling through TSA pre-check in a wheelchair, motherfucker, you playing. Excuse my language. Mother, you playing.
In a wheelchair.
Another thing, Ronnie Lott cut a piece of his finger off to go back in the game.
Who did?
Ronnie Lott.
I remember that.
So
okay, that's why I draw the line. That's why I draw the line.
This gigantic, massive guy who's complaining. What kind of surgery are they really going to do? Honestly, you know what I'm saying? We've all had injuries where we probably needed surgery if we had the ability to get the surgery, but we moved on. Have you seen Deion Sanders' fingers?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Joel Embiid. Let me say this. Philly will not win a championship no time soon.
Wow.
Well, they won't because he's going to leave.
They won't happen.
All right. I like that. Well, here we go. Let's move on. with the finals 1 day away, Draymond Green has some bulletin board fodder, man. He says that he feels slighted that he didn't get first team all defense. Does he have a legitimate gripe? And do you think that he could possibly take it out on the Boston Celtics by playing stellar defense talent?
Man, I hate Boston. If you don't get picked, so what's going on with the world? Did he get slighted? No, he didn't get slighted. Play better D next year. You know, make the all defense. Get your weight up. Do what you got to do. Everybody. Here's the thing. Everybody is out there playing D, or their rendition of it anyway, right? And then there's some people that are playing at such a level, or doing it at a certain level. You the ones that get picked and get slighted. Nobody gets slighted, bro. You got to keep playing. It's okay. You can be a good defender and actually not get defensive player of the year or make the all defensive team. It's not sliding. Some people make it. Here's the thing. How many games do we watch every night on a high game night? All the teams damn near playing, right? But you're not getting to see all of them. You're not getting to see. So all you think, you see what you're doing and who you're playing against, you're like, yeah, I can play some hellified D. Guess what? In a place that we don't like called Utah, somebody plays some hellified D a little better than you. So it's not about being slighted. You're in competition with a lot of folks. I think people complain too much about this stuff.
Well, here's the thing. We're not talking about defensive player of the year, which we know.
Well, I'm saying I'm just using that as an example.
Smart got that. But first team all defense. What do you think, Mike? Does he have a point?
Draymond Green might be one of the most blessed players ever to play. He is playing for the perfect team. His talent set is on the perfect team.
Absolutely.
Right.
On the wrong team, Draymond would just be a regular guy. No diss. But on Golden State, he is perfection. Like, he is exactly where he should be. The whole thing about being slandered or not, maybe he wanted the extra check. I don't know. Maybe he's putting this in the ears of these guys so next year he guarantees his position next year. Is he a great defensive player? Yes. But saying you were being slighted, dog, you're in the NBA Finals on a dynasty type of team. Like, come on. Like, don't Joel Embiid me now. Don't come on.
That's a new one. Don't Joel Embiid me now.
Don't Joel Embiid me now, dog.
Dugar, this is your team.
Hey, look.
Draymond Green, one of the top defenders. I put him as, in my opinion, as far as defense is concerned, Draymond Green is a modern day Dennis Rodman. What do you say? I've
been going to Warrior games since '76. And Draymond, I'm a big fan, but dude, you don't have to headline all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Just be the first team to win 4 games. That's all it is. You getting some writers that vote that don't even know how to play basketball affect you, just like the greatest 75 of all time. That ain't even legit. Just be the first team to win 4 games and play your defense there and go win a championship. You can't headline all of the first teams of defense. Just get the people what they want and win 4 games first. That's it.
Just shout out to D.L. Hewley.
Yeah, class that.
Y'all stupid. I swear.
Hey, you saw the subliminal in there, huh? Yes, you did.
Can't headline all the time.
Hey, I gotta say, man, you New York guys are really smart, man. You guys are really on it, man.
Now you're talking like your son. Hey, man.
Hey, man, dude. Sometimes I get mad, man, when my wax doesn't stick on my surfboard. You know, it's weird.
I don't know. Listen, I detect a slight undertone of insult in that you New York guys are really smart.
No, I'm giving you crap. Hey, man, look. Listen. You ever notice my dialect? A lot of cats think I'm from the East Coast. Not New York, but the East Coast.
Right.
Yeah. I've always had a thing for the East Coast, but I've never experienced it because I've only been to New York one time. But it's a compliment. I'm just saying, man. Man, y'all know y'all miss me when I'm not on the show. Stop set tripping.
Right.
Set tripping.
I give brothers their flowers. I give you your flowers now.
I can dig it. Listen, people talking about Steph Curry has never won a Finals MVP, and the pundits, the powers that be, say that if the Golden State Warriors win this championship, Steph Curry is favored to win the MVP. I don't know how they're doing that because they ain't played the games, but they say Steph Curry is going to be favored to win the MVP if the Golden State Warriors win the championship this year. Talent, what do you have to say about that?
Well, it makes sense. We all know that the fix be in early. If you watch Winning Time, right, that's something that stood out to me in the show about the Lakers. They already had the MVP going to Kareem, and Kareem didn't show up that game when they closed it out in Game 6 or whatever. They remember they was in Philly. So
Yeah,
when they
Magic
closed
did
it out,
that.
the guy met him backstage like, I think I talked to you. He's like, yeah, we got to do this MVP thing. Everyone was like, yeah, it's cool. He's like, we all voted for Kareem. And like, that's what's up. We wouldn't be here without Kareem. Yeah, but he's not here tonight. So we got to get it. But this goes to show you how to fix the script is written already. We're watching this stuff in real time. And in our heart of hearts, we hope and believe that it plays out the way that we see it, but it really doesn't. At the end of the day, there's corporations making corporate decisions. So you think these dudes are sitting on the side like us watching the game? Ooh, I don't know who's the best player. They did that before they played the games. Somebody made a call, and Mike is the point guard. Mike Steph Curry. I called Mike. I'm the head of the. Hey, Mike, listen. So you're gonna get this award, right? Look. Just don't get injured.
Just don't get injured.
Oh my God, man, that's crazy. Mike, what do you got to say, man? Steph Curry. Now here's the thing: they gotta win. You can't. There's never been an MVP
once
for who's the MVP on a losing team, Mike?
Jerry West. Jerry West won the MVP.
West.
Yep.
He's the only one. Jerry West.
Only one.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. Well, let's just say this. Let's put it this way. In the modern day NBA,
right,
a losing player has never won the MVP. Steph Curry is favored to win it this year if the Golden State Warriors win. What do you think about that, Mike? You think the fix is in or what? What are we talking about here?
I mean, the narrative is a narrative. Steph Curry is the face of that team.
Absolutely.
He's the face of the team, and he deserves, if they win and he does his normal, he deserves the MVP. And the reason why I say this, and I'm not a Golden State fan, I always preface that I'm not. I say this because there are people out there who are literally holding against Steph Curry that he hasn't won an NBA Finals MVP. Because what they do is they pick and choose little things so they can have a hot take to take away somebody's credit. And I hate when people do that. If they win this championship and that man averages hits 25 points a game or whatever, give him the MVP. The man is the face not only of that franchise, but is one of the faces of the league that is helping that league make a gang of money.
A gang of money.
So let that man do his thing and win that MVP if he wins it, if they win the series.
Absolutely. Dugar, some people say that Steph Curry should already have one. People say that Andre Iguodala won because he played stellar defense on LeBron James. I think LeBron James in that series averaged somewhere between 35 and 40 points a game.
Yeah, LeBron at 30 points a game.
It don't make sense to me. I mean, listen, was Iggy a disruptor? Absolutely, man. But I think Steph Curry should already have one. Slated to win one this year.
When you talk about the first ring, that MVP could have easily gone to Steph Curry.
Absolutely.
He had the numbers.
Yeah.
But the height of the defense that they thought Iggy was putting on Draymond on LeBron was just a facade because LeBron was getting them buckets. Absolutely. Now, when you look at Steph Curry right now, Steph is the face. He's the face. So if Steph plays the way he's been playing throughout the entire playoffs in the season, he will get the MVP. But that team has shown that they can beat you with 6 guys putting in 15 to 18 points each.
Right.
Now, if that happens, if for some reason Klay Thompson is leading and scoring in all of those games, Klay will get the MVP, and that would be even a bigger story than Steph's.
Oh, that would be disgraceful.
That would be
See,
I think it would be.
Steph's gonna get it,
Listen,
man.
That would be
already
this.
got
That
it.
would
They
be
already
this.
got it.
That
They got the trophy and everything. They just wait to that night and carve in Steph Curry. Is
I
it?
think. Listen, man. I believe that is possibly already done. But here's what a lot of people don't talk
You got to
about.
play the game first.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's what a lot of people don't talk about. I think the amount of attention that you have to pay to Steph Curry, sort of allows the rest of the team to move sort of freely and unabated because you're paying so much attention to this guy. Everybody else gets a better opportunity at least to play one-on-one, which could make you the most valuable player. Talent, what you have to say about that?
Say that again. That question again.
I'm saying that that other teams' defense pay so much attention to Steph Curry, is that sometimes they lose sight of their own man, which gives these guys free buckets, which means, in essence, Steph Curry really is the most valuable player because if the defense not paying so much attention to him, then these other guys don't get a chance to score like they do.
Right, but like the guy said, it's very simple. Steph is the narrator of his team, right? He's the guy that, brings the rock up, facilitates, call the plays, all that type of stuff. All Steph has to do at this point, like they just said, is play regular like he has been all year. He doesn't have to do nothing astronomical. So if I'm looking at, let's say it goes 6 games. Let's just hypothetically say we're looking at a 6-game series. And Steph gave you 22 to 25 of each of those games. Those 2 35-point games from Clay ain't going to matter. Steph, you just got to stay the course.
Consistent.
Yeah, because they're going to, like you just said, they're going to attribute a lot of those points and picks, coming around the picks and assists and rebound. A lot of that gets attributed to Steph. What a lot of stuff Steph does never makes the paper. Like Steph, for his size, he actually rebounds.
He gets steals.
He actually rebounds. But you don't hear people talking about that. You have to go to the books and look at it. Steph is the smallest dude on the court, but he actually runs in there, follows shots, grabs rebounds, offensive and defensive, and keep it moving and shoot the break. But all he got to do is, remember I told you this shit, man. It's real talk. Just don't get injured.
Just don't get That's hilarious.
That's the only.
I don't even appreciate you bringing that word up, Talon. I don't appreciate
I hate that. Yeah, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. Mike, let me ask you this.
You got to, Mike seen the show. You know what I'm talking about, Mike.
Yeah.
Think about what I'm saying. You got a guy that's a shoo-in. The only thing that could get in the way is if he don't show up for the games, the important games, like at the end or something like that. Kareem bust their ass. Kareem is that dude. He was the most dominant player in the league at that time, and he's doing his thing all the way up until that one game. Now think about that. You mean to tell me the league couldn't keep that award for Kareem? One game he's out.
Right. Mike, what do you think about that? Listen, it's kind of funny. People say that Draymond Green is the facilitator of the Golden State Warriors, yet Steph Curry still ends up with a lot of assists also. What do you think about Steph Curry being the MVP?
I think he's going to win the MVP. I think Talon said don't get injured. I said there's one thing he better not do.
Yeah.
Don't lose.
Yeah.
Because if they lose, these pundits that you keep talking about are going to have a field day if they lose.
The narrative is you can't. I think the narrative will be that you couldn't really win it without Kevin Durant. Here's the thing, and this is the last question because we're running out of time. Some people say that the Boston Celtics have a stellar defense and they got Golden State's numbers because they beat them in the regular season or whatever and stuff like that. What do you have to say about that, Dugar?
All we need is for Nia Long to bite her fiance the night before, and none of the plays will work.
For those of y'all that don't know what Dugar is talking about, coach of the Boston Celtics, Ime Udoka, is dating Nia Long. She scares me. Anyway, Talent, what do you have to say about people saying how great the Boston Celtics defense is and they could possibly have Golden State's numbers this year?
Well, I like their defense. I mean, it's half legitimate, half hacky, which is great defense.
Yeah.
You know, that's Marcus Smart's job. You know, he brings the hacky part and forces those turnovers. So that they do have good D. We can't deny that. The problem with them is they also try to run. And if they depend on what Boston team we see in these games is going to dictate the outcome of each game. If they play the running Boston team, they're going to get run out the gym. They have to go in there with a Miami mindset to slow this game down. I'll be honest with you. If you don't slow this game down, it's Golden State's game. That's the only way you can beat them. You slow them down, make them play some half-court game, make them think, make them run some plays. Because in that open floor, bro, they are the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey.
Mike, I got to give you the word. Talent says the only way to beat the Golden State Warriors is to get them into a half-court game, because if you try and run with them, they're going to run you out the gym. What you got to say, Mike?
I don't think you can't run with them, but you still got to get easy buckets.
Yeah.
You can't get caught up in Golden State's game, but you still got to get easy buckets. And you know, they do have the defense to make this a 7-game series. And if it goes 7, look, you don't know. You don't know what
GP2 is back.
You just don't know what could happen if it goes.
Is he? Gary Payton Jr. is back, Duga. Here's the
GP2
thing.
is back.
Gary Payton Jr. is back.
GP2 is back.
Duga, this is the last question. Is for you. We got a couple minutes. If it goes to a game 7, Golden State Warriors are at home. They have the better record. Can the Boston Celtics make an upset and beat the Golden State Warriors on their home floor, seeing that in game 7 against Miami, their whole team seemed to tighten up offensively?
Anything is possible because you all got to lace them up. But Golden State has been out of the playoffs for over 2 years because of injury, which they could have possibly won 2 more chips because of those injuries. Golden State has just as big of a chip on their shoulder than Boston Celtics. And
Absolutely.
they match up well, but Golden State has the edge with them 3 dudes. The championship pedigree and that other dude who's turning into a coach player, Iggy, on that bench, getting the mother cats prepared. Golden State in 6.
Listen,
Yeah,
that's
I got
my
money
last word.
on those 7 games.
What'd you
It's
say?
not going 7.
It's not going 7. I
I
got
don't
money
think so.
to
I
back.
think it's going to be 6 games.
Because we know
Here's
Golden
the
State done lost the
last
game
word,
7 at
and then
home before.
Last
And we
word,
know
and then
Golden
we're
State
out.
could easily end it at 5 too.
Last word, and then we're out, ladies and gentlemen. Golden State has over 120 some odd playoff games of their players played. And right now, the Boston Celtics have absolutely 0 players that have ever played in the NBA Finals. And some people think that's the edge. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for today. I've been your host. I'm Fig Talent, Dugard, Daniel Dugard, Mike Sean. Talent, quickly, how can we follow you?
Hey, people, follow me on Twitter at It's Just Comedy, or Talent the Comedian on IG, or King Talent Harris on Facebook.
How can we follow you, Mike?
At Mike Sean Comedy on every single thing.
Dugard, how do we follow you?
You can follow me by having Frank sending me my $20 because the Warriors are in the finals.
You can follow me on all social media platforms at Comedian Fig. Thank y'all. That's our show for today. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Thank you for everybody that tuned in to Box Seats, y'all. Peace.
All right, fellas. Peace.
Peace.